The Election Commission has announced schedule for phase 2 of the special intensive revision across 12 states including West Bengal and Tamil Nadu. Questions are being raised over its timing, transparency and possible political impact. Joining me now is senior journalist and my colleague Puneet Nicholas Yadav. Thank you for joining. So the EC says this phase is meant to clean up voter rolls, but the recent experience with Bihar SIR has led to several allegations. Do you see this as a routine process or one with political overtones, especially in opposition-ruled states?
Well, there will obviously be questions with regard to the political motivations behind it, which are consistent with what they were when the Bihar SIR were announced, which is about who are the people that are being targeted for exclusion, and is the larger motive to exclude voters who are more susceptible to or more likely to vote for uh, the opposition parties. So, of course, those questions will continue to uh, be asked by opposition parties.
Puneet, while Bengal, Tamil Nadu, and Kerala and Puducherry, which all go to polls early next year, have been included in the first phase of the nationwide SIR. Assam, where elections are due or also due along with these states, has been excluded. So, has the EC explained why?
The Election Commission says that since the NRC process for Assam is still on, it's a Supreme Court monitored process that has to still be completed. They haven't gone in for SIR for Assam as of now. They'll be announcing an SIR separately for Assam at a later stage.
This phase comes just months before key state polls and ahead of delimitation in 2026. So, could the timing of this exercise have broader political implications beyond just updating the rolls?
Well, I mean, let's not confuse this with the delimitation process as of now, because we don't yet know whether when exactly the delimitation process will start, by when will it conclude. Because for that, the first thing that is required is for the census to be completed within the time frame that the center had announced earlier. So let's wait for that. And the delimitation process just doesn't happen overnight. It's a long drawn process, but nonetheless, there will of course be concerns. Whether you have delimitation or you don't have delimitation is a separate matter altogether. That's going to be equally contentious. But with regard to the SIR per se, there will of course be a lot of political tug of war on. Who has been excluded, who has been included, what were the processes that were adopted, has there been duplication of voters, as was seen even after the SIR in Bihar in the final roll that was published, which had a large number of duplications. Yes, the EC today made it very clear that they are not going to employ any duplication software, and the onus is on the people to not get enrolled twice. So, if there is, which is basically trying to put the burden on the people. Now, if certain political parties want to enroll some voters twice, or want to do some kind of, hanky-panky with the electoral roll, the EC clearly, at least today, did not have any clear answers on that. And the other most contentious issue is of the infiltrators, which, as when the SIR for Bihar had started, one of the things that the EC had said right at the beginning, and subsequently top leadership of the BJP, including the Prime Minister, repeatedly said was that the SIR will weed out घुसपैठिए or illegal infiltrators. When the Bihar SIR final rolls came out, there were hardly any exclusions. There was no data that was given out by the EC about detecting any kind of illegal infiltrators. Today's press conference also, the chief election commissioner was asked this question at least twice, And he sidestepped that question repeatedly. He did not offer any answers on whether that remains one of the driving forces for the SIR exercise. So naturally, I mean, each of those questions that were relevant with the Bihar SIR continue to be relevant with the nationwide SIR.
You mentioned software while answering this question, so let me get a bit into it. The Commission is relying on tech-based verification and public scrutiny, but on the ground, inconsistencies remain. So, how effective are these digital and booth-level checks in ensuring fair revisions?
See, they'll be only as efficient as the exercise in its totality is. So, if the exercise is drafted in such a way that it's meant to help a certain political party or formation, no matter what kind of uh, tech expertise is brought in, uh, if the motivations aren't right, you won't really get a fair electoral roll at the end of it. And that's been the whole point with the SIR. That is exactly what the opposition has been saying, that the motivations for this exercise aren't right. And as far as the experience of the Bihar SIR are concerned, there are legitimate questions on how that exercise was concluded, was conducted and concluded, and though a lot of those questions still remain unanswered. So the same thing I assume would apply to the nationwide SIR and at a much larger canvas. So a lot more political noise from what I understand. And so, to say that we are not going to use a deduplication software because the onus is on the people, uh, at the end of the day, it is your job to bring out a clean voter roll. And if you're going to make an excuse of not using a deduplication software on grounds that it's on the people and their conscience, then why do the SIR at all? Leave it to the people. If they don't want to be on the rolls, if they don't want their names to appear more than once, let them come forward and say that this name is repeated and please remove it. Why do the SIR?
My last question is parties fear the revision might hit certain communities or regions harder. What safeguards are needed to prevent voter disenfranchisement this time?
Well, as it was the last time with Bihar, there needs to be extreme vigilance. Of course, now that people have had a sense of what happened with Bihar, they are perhaps better informed. So, they need to keep their documents ready. They since this exercise is going to start only on the 4th November, so by then, uh, hopefully, people will keep the documents that are required ready with them, and the political parties who have a large role to play, because it's their BLAs, the booth level agents, who may have to do a lot of heavy lifting here. They need to be extremely vigilant. I think those are the primary safeguards that would be essential.